5 ways to tackle OCD in children. Hi, I'm Julie, creator of the Mind Monsters, and I try and help parents support children with OCD and anxiety, and I do it through my workshop and through my Mind Monster books. So what are the 5 ways that I've learned that you can actually help and support a child with contamination and other forms of OCD? Number 1 is to actually identify, do they actually have OCD, as opposed to it just being a sort of a habit or being general anxiety. Difference with OCD, it will actually come in a certain pattern. Like, for example, if somebody's blinking, if they're doing it randomly, that'll be a habit. If they're doing it in a specific way, such as 3 times, or when they're nervous, if they're going to school or before bed or something like that, and they're doing it over and over again, that's an indication there's actually OCD. So that's the first way you help them. Number 2, you need to then get professional support, which will normally come in the form of exposure and response prevention therapy. This is what they call the gold star way of actually tackling OCD. Prior to getting this treatment, I was doing everything wrong when it came to my daughter's OCD, and I was actually feeding what I call OCD, the angry monster. I was giving it constant reassurance, I was reacting every time, and I got recruited. Everything it asked me to do were the most bizarre things you wouldn't believe. That's what I was doing. But what I was actually doing was feeding OCD and making it a whole lot worse and harder to treat. So the second thing you want to do is get some therapy. So you need to go through your GP and get referred for professional therapy. Number 3 is how you communicate with OCD, because what you say to OCD can be as powerful as what you do to combat OCD as well. For example, don't call OCD your child's OCD, or this is Annabelle's OCD, this is Leo's OCD. It doesn't belong to them, it's separate to them. So just be careful when you communicate in the right way, and don't sort of link it to your child. The easiest way I found to do this was to actually find a name for it, and I actually call our OCD Hank the Hungry Monster. But get your child to be inventive and try and come up with it, try and draw him, or her, give it a name. Like, it could be, you could base it on a villain in a book, like Trunchbull. It could be based on their least favourite teacher, and it could just be a made-up name. Whatever it is, doesn't matter, as long as you always all consistently refer to it as that name, to keep it separate from your child, because that will help with exposure therapy as well. Number 4 then is actually doing the exposure therapy. This can be done by reducing compulsions, it can be done by delaying compulsions, it can be actually going by banned people or banned buildings. I say banned because they're not really banned, obviously it's just OCD that's banning them. So you can actually do that, and the way to do that is to make a list, decide on what the first challenge on the list is going to be, and then just very, very slowly start exposing your child to that fear without them carrying out compulsions. And like I said, you can do it by delaying the compulsion. It can just be by 1 second. It can be by reducing the compulsion. There are lots of ways that you can actually tackle it, but exposure therapy is what you need to be doing. And number 5, that is to actually add a sweetener in there, because doing exposure therapy can be very, very difficult for a child. So it is really important to offer them sort of incentives of how they can celebrate success. Now, rewards can be something small, from doing something one-to-one with you, up to something bigger, which could be going for a spa day or paintballing adventure or having tea with friends. Whatever it might be, every child's got a currency, but just make a note of what the reward is and keep consistent to the rewards, because it will help your child get motivated to be on board with therapy to begin with and keep them motivated. All right, so that's my 5 tips on how to actually challenge and support your child with OCD. I also, as I said, write Mind Monster books. The first one is called Hank the Hungry Monster, and the second one is Trixie the Treat Monster. Hank the Hungry Monster actually introduces OCD as a separate character, i.e. Hank the Hungry Monster, and it shows, the main message in this book is to show that words and actions can have consequences on others, including mental health ones. It also shows the importance of confiding in others, and it helps children actually speak up to this OCD voice before it takes control. The sequel, Trixie the Treat Monster, Hank is back again. This time he's actually in Leo's head and giving Leo instructions to count to 3. And what Trixie does, I introduce a new monster, and she represents how to use distraction methods and rewards while carrying out exposure therapy in order to distract the anxious thoughts and replace them with happier thoughts instead. Again, there is the importance in of confiding in others, and as I said, of learning to speak up to this hungry monster. I also provide workshops. I do in-person workshops, and I'm also putting some onto the Teachable site as well, so you can actually do the learning remotely as well. And they're all tips based on what I learned via exposure therapy and getting professional therapy, both paid professional therapy and the free one from CAMS, because I'm on a mission to try and help other parents who are supporting children with OCD to do the right things rather than the wrong things like I was doing when I was supporting my child with contamination OCD. All details can be found on my website. If you purchase my books off my website, just in the UK only, because it's only available in the UK only as this offer, I will personally sign the books, and I'll also give you a free bookmark, both a Hank one or a Trixie one. Just pop whatever comment you want me, whatever message you want me to sign the book, and I'll personally sign it for your child. My price actually includes postage as well. If you buy the two together on my website, you can buy them 2 for £18. So there's a £2 saving there. Alternatively, if you live outside the UK, you can buy them via the Book Depository, by Amazon, Waterstones, just any sort of online book retailer really you can purchase them from. That's it for today. I hope this has helped you in knowing 5 ways in which you can actually support your own child with contamination and other forms of OCD. See you on the next video.